Okay, hey there, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith with what's happening with our crazy weather. You know, it just went straight cold across the area starting yesterday. We are starting to get used to it a little bit, but the nights are staying cold, and we actually will have lower air temperatures tonight and tomorrow night, and we've got wind chills still in the teens possible tomorrow morning. So I wanted to shed some light on what's causing this, and then what we're seeing going down the road for the remainder of the week. And what I have here is this graphic here shows that the jet stream, anytime it starts up into Alaska, and there's what we call a bit of a ridge pattern, really is what it is in the western United States. When this is going on and you have that ridge right there, it's kind of warmer than usual in California and up into Oregon, but it's grabbing the cold air from Canada and then it's sending it straight down into our part of the world. And I'm going to animate this a little bit, and we see this pattern generally staying in place through the weekend. Now there will be some changes and the jet stream may lift a little bit next week, but the bottom line is that we continue to see colder than average temperatures even into Monday of next week. So we've got the cold with us. How cold will it be tonight? Last night we were below freezing in Mobile, but only down around 30, and that's partly because we had some cloud cover in the area last night, and so that cloud cover acts as a blanket. It insulates the atmosphere, it keeps the heat from escaping, it keeps it from getting colder at the surface. And so with that and higher winds, we saw a lot of mixing, and so we didn't see those numbers getting all the way down into the 20s last night, so it wasn't quite as cold as expected, but the wind chills were still brutal this morning. We had teens for wind chills, and tomorrow morning we're going to see the same thing. Air temperature around 26 in Mobile. We're going to be close to hard freeze criteria in the inland spots at Grove Hill, Monroeville, and Evergreen. Wind chills in the mid-20s, 26 in Admore. And if we factor in the wind chill tomorrow morning, we're going to see more significant wind chills in the teens over parts of the area. Our models are suggesting 18 to 19 with the wind chill in Monroe and Clark counties. Low 20s with the wind chill, Mobile, Fairhope, and Milton. So that's cold stuff for us, and it's that Arctic air, really. It's modified Arctic air, but it is that cold air that's settling in, keeping temperatures below normal this week. So anytime we have cold air in place, we usually get somewhere between 100 and 1,000. I don't know how many questions we get from viewers. When is it going to snow? I mean, it's cold, right? And so it's really hard to get the moisture and the cold air on the same page in the deep south. But when that typically happens, it's when we see a low pressure area in the Gulf with cold air in place. And we do have that kind of a setup. The problem is that the low may be a little too far north. So we've got a low, and I'm going to bring it up full, and I'll get my little pointer out here and show you. This low that is here in Texas is what we would be looking for wintry precipitation in the south. You've got a low pressure area forming up in the western Gulf. You've got cold air in place across the region all through here. And so we're going to get some snow and some mixed precipitation in Dallas, Fort Worth, and up into the Red River Valley. But what's going to happen is this low is going to move, it appears, too far to the north for us to see any significant winter precipitation. It's most likely going to start out with some rain. This is right around 1 in the morning on Friday morning, and the rain snow line is now north of Louisiana. It's up into Arkansas, and what could happen is that we might see a couple of sleet pellets or a little mixed precip just at the very onset on the leading edge of the precipitation. Sometimes that happens when this moisture gets shoved into a really dry air mass. We have a process going on in the atmosphere called evaporative cooling, and that can result in a couple of sleet pellets, a brief winter precip event with no accumulation, and that will be followed by rain. So it's not out of the question that we would see that, but it's looking less likely than we were thinking even earlier in the week. And so with all that going on, it looks like that most of the frozen precipitation is going to be north of Montgomery, and really significant snow may be north of Birmingham. There will be a band of freezing rain and sleet in the southeastern region, and so that is not good for travel. If you're thinking about heading north, northern Mississippi is likely going to see some snow. Northern Alabama is going to see mixed precipitation with some snow in far northeastern Alabama, and we are likely to see all rain because that low pressure area is so close to us. You get a counterclockwise flow around a low pressure area in the northern hemisphere, and what that does is it brings the warmer air, and yeah, we could go up in the 50s with some rain, but it'll bring some warmer air up into our area. It would keep any kind of significant winter precipitation from forming. So it's always fun to look. This would be the kind of setup that might work for us if the low was further south, if the cold air was a little bit more established. But neither of those two scenarios are taking place. However, some folks in the south will get snow, and it looks like it will be northern Georgia, northern Alabama, and northern Mississippi. And really, northern Alabama, it's more like Huntsville, Fort Payne, Mentone, up into Cherokee County, DeKalb County, Jackson County, some of the far northern fringe counties. And I would expect northern Mississippi, places like Tunica, Batesville, Oxford, Water Valley, Holly Springs, Tupelo, will get a pretty good snow out of this, but we are not slated for any winter precipitation based on what we're seeing right now. The low basically goes right over us. It would really need to pass well to our south in order for this thing to work. And you can see it's mainly a rain event. Even some of those places like Birmingham that may start out with winter precipitation may trend over to all rain by the time we get into Friday evening. So looking less likely for us. And then looking at our low temperatures, you know, so we've got two cold mornings, Wednesday morning and Thursday morning, followed by temperatures getting up into the upper 30s on Friday morning. As that precip first moves in, it will be chilly, and then day temperatures will get up into the 50s with rain. Cold air comes back over the weekend. We still have the trough in the east and the jet stream, and so it's possible that Saturday night and even Sunday night we may see some near freezing temperatures or below freezing temperatures. So the cold continues, really cold next two mornings. Precipitation moves in. It's likely 99% all rain for our area, with the rain snow line really being way north in northern Alabama and northern Mississippi for any kind of significant event. And then we see more cold air coming down for the weekend. So we'll keep battling January here and watching the forecast for any changes down the road. Thanks for joining us for Next Weather.